Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Exterior. Now, if you're a subscriber of the Keeping It Anime channel, which is this channel already, then you might be wondering what's up with the name change. Well, all will be explained in the update video. The link is in the description down below. Anyhow, we're not here to talk about that, we're here to talk about a new anime series that's just been released. Astra Lost in Space. Now, Episode 1. So, this series is based off of the amazing, brilliant manga series, Astra Lost in Space, says me holding the book backwards. And first and foremost, this anime looks amazing in terms of animated and animation quality. And overall, a solid first episode that does a great job of introducing us to the cast and characters, and the situation in which they find themselves in by the end of the episode. So then, before we talk about what actually happens in this episode, let's talk about the characters themselves. So, the main female to say, Aries Spring. Overall, her design looks great. I like the whole one eye is different colour than the other type of characteristic she's got going on. But at the beginning of this episode, I did find it a bit hard to differentiate which colour was which. Because, yes, we already knew she had this characteristic, but the colours are very similar that you wouldn't really kind of pick it up unless you were looking for it. Now, one thing I do love about this character is her personality. She's clumsy, but cheerful and innocent. Her personality, it helps bring a light humour and fun to the overall show. Like, for example, when we're first introduced to her, she's seen as being quite forgetful. Or she's quite clumsy because she knocks her suitcase into a elderly lady. Or when she's being mugged, she says, "Stop beef," instead of "stop thief." You know, she gets her words mixed up and I absolutely love it. The comedy that she brings is light, which is what the show needs, and is also really effective. Alright, so then the main male character to speak of the show, Kanata. Right off the bat, it's pretty obvious that the show wants you to like this character. And why wouldn't you? He's courageous even, funny, and is, he has a tragic backstory. Which most of these characters do, but I won't get into that because they'll have their time to shine later. And this backstory that we're shown in this episode entails his teacher basically dying by falling off a cliff while him and other students are on a mountain. Exploring, and they're at a very young age. It's also revealed to us in this episode that within this kind of situation that he found himself in his childhood, he had to survive with 5 other children for 7 days before help was sent. And he managed to do so. And all of this just basically leads to his dream of wanting to own his own ship in order to be a space explorer. This is also bouncing off of his teacher's dream, the one that died, but thanks to his teacher for teaching him all the skill sets and the determination in order to be able to follow it. In this episode, he shows good leadership skills, and his characteristics are quite funny and goofy and over the top, but at the same time he's very focused and very kind of on track. Okay, I just realised that was a slightly bad punt because he runs field. But, yeah, he's very athletic as well. And finally, his character design-wise, another great design. It's not too complicated, but it works well for his character. Next, we'll look at Zack. Zack Walker, a very cool, calm, collective character that's, he's very high-tech, he knows a lot about spaceships, and he has a spaceship license. He seems to be very kind of calculative, and he looks like to be the planner of the group. When watching this episode, I got like a very Star Trek-y type of vibe. If we were to say that Kanata is the captain, then Zack Walker would definitely be the Spock. But yeah, we're not told much about all these characters, so really we don't know a lot. Next, we'll move on to Quilterine. Quilterine is the older of the 2 sisters in this show, and her personality seems to be at first quite cold and uptight. She seems a bit stuck up, but as the episode progressed, she seemed to be a bit more relaxed and more friendly towards the cast. Yet she still does retain some of her aggressive tones in her personality, especially when talking to Kanata. For some reason, his personality just seems to tick her off. Design-wise, again, it's pretty good. I like it. Next, the younger sister of the two, Funishika. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Although in the manga, they always just abbreviated it to Funi. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. And she seemed like a happy-go-lucky one of the group. She's very hyper and always up for an adventure. But what did surprise me was her puppet. She has a little puppet, and basically it says whatever is on her mind, which mostly entails not so nice things. So where her personality is quite cheerful, quite playful and happy, when she brings the puppet out, she's saying what she wants to say, kind of like Elise from Tales of Extelia. Now, we are introduced to a few more characters in this episode, and I'll go over them pretty quickly. So, Charles, a friendly character that's good at biology, and he loves to sparkle, as seen in this episode. You know the whole anime trope where a guy sort of talks and he's sparkling because everything around him is so positive and jolly? That type of thing. Then we have Olga, a mysterious character that seems quite edgy, but he also seems quite smart, but he's not really a team player. He doesn't seem to get on well with the rest of the group, which obviously I look forward to seeing more from his character later on. Design-wise, he is pretty cool and probably my favourite design of the male characters within this show. Yeah. And then we have Yunohara. She's a shy girl who really doesn't do much in this episode except apologise a lot. So, not really much to say there. And then finally, Luca, an artist who, again, we don't know a lot about, but seems nice enough as a character. He seems quite jolly and quite playful. So maybe he'll get on with Funi quite well. So then, if you haven't guessed from the title of this anime series, these teenagers are lost in space. Once they land on the planet Mukpat, and their teachers have left, a weird unknown sphere basically appears and transports the cast 1012 light years away. This is where we find everyone floating in space, and we see the Astra also floating above a lifeless frozen planet. Everyone gets to the Astra along with their luggage except Ares, and this is where most of the character's personality and characteristics are shown, especially with Kanata, as he shows his worth as not only as a captain, but as a character, because, he shows us as the viewers and his classmates within the series itself that he's very capable and quite daring and is willing to help everybody. So in this scene, he is quite sensible and quite sort of headstrong and determined. He remembers his teacher telling him that when you're put into a bad situation, act tough. So he does exactly that. Now, once everyone is safe and on the Astra, it's stated that they would now have food and water for about 3 days. However, after some team building / bonding, we get the idea of planet hopping. This is in order to refill on food and water over a 20-day period. So once they spent the 3 days of water and get to the first planet, they'll stock up, go to the next planet, 20 days, and do the same thing until they finally get back to their home planet. Now, that's basically the main bulk of it. We had quite a lot of comedy at the beginning, where the whole cast was meeting up, and we had Ares with a kind of personality traits, lifting the comedy and the mood. We had Kanata basically showing off his goofy side and personality. So that was really nice and fun. So overall, this was a really good first episode that was full of up and downs in terms of what the characters had to handle and experience. So yeah, overall, by that sentence, I mean that the show was great. The show didn't have up and downs. It's just the storytelling and the way it progressed from like one danger to nice and quiet and peaceful to a danger and so on. And you could definitely tell from the voice acting that, you know, the work was really put in because the characters showed some amazing emotions and tones within their voice. So the voice actors did a brilliant job. Especially when Ares was trapped in space and she was panicking, feeling like she was all alone in a big, wide, vast area. There was just complete darkness. It really did show through, and I really did appreciate that. The music and sound effects, again, were really great, and one highlight for me, again, was from Ares, but when the communications within the helmets started to crackle and break, I really did like that. It was a nice touch that they added to the series that really did make the situation seem more realistic. So, if you're wanting to watch an anime series that's got some really good animation, good voice acting, at least for the first episode, hopefully it's going to continue, and some amazing storytelling, hopefully if they stay true to the manga. And well, for the first episode, they have done just that. Pacing-wise, I didn't find the pacing to be too quick or too slow. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but this probably will be a 12-episode series. And if they cover the whole entirety of Astra Lost in Space, then we might miss out one or two things, but hopefully it should be able to still deliver an amazing story, just like the manga itself did. So if you want all those, and you haven't already, make sure to go and watch this amazing series. I've read the manga, so I can't go into speculations when I do my reviews, as I already know what happens, but I do promise not to spoil anything that would basically hinder your enjoyment of the twists and reveals within the show, you know, once they arrive. So for example, I'm not going to say anything, don't worry, but if there's something that a character does and it kind of makes sense later on, I won't be talking about that because obviously if I'm only looking at it from an anime only watcher perspective, I wouldn't know that that would link later on down the road. Does that make sense? Well, hopefully that did. Anyway, I'm going to leave it for this review. I will be doing every episode of Astra Lost in Space when it comes out. So, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and so you can follow on with the Astra Lost in Space anime along with me as well. But other than that, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. Ooh, I didn't think of a new outro. Hope you have an amazing day. And, well, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.